Welcome back to step 3. If you followed along with the other videos 1 and 2, then we've completed the first layer, now the second layer, and now we're left in a situation where we just need to, just complete the top layer, fill these with yellow and get all of these matching around. Now you might notice that I happen to have a cross here, and if you watched in my second video where I did the middle layer and where I was moving pieces from here to fill up the corner edges or the edge pieces, I had a little technique where I said if you're moving this piece out, then you might as well get a piece that's not yellow on top, yellow here, and we might as well take advantage of flipping them while we're moving those pieces. And that's kind of what I did. It doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're always going to get a cross, but it just happens to be that in this particular case, for the video, it happens to be a cross. But more than likely, you're going to have something else. And to understand how we go about systematically completing this top layer, I'm going to show you the moves ahead of time so you have an understanding of how we go from not having a cross to having a cross. Now I happen to have a cross, but you are going to have one of 3 other alternatives. You're either going to have a dot with messy colors around, but only one yellow in the right place. You might have something strange where you have yellow here and yellow there, but nothing else than that. But the set of sequences that we're going to go through to complete this cube, we're going to go from the dot to the arrow to the line to the cross. Now coming to this video number 3, you will no doubt have completed the first 2 layers. So you will have one of these combinations. So just bear in mind, if you have a stripe, that's good. We've only got one more step to get you from the stripe to the cross. If you happen to have an arrow of any direction, whether it's that way or this way, just turn it around obviously, but then you have 2 steps to go. You've got to make it from here to here and here to here. And if you have a dot and a few random ones but none of these shapes, then you're going to have to go from here to here, here to here, and here to here. But the good news is, regardless of how many steps you have to do, it's only one move that we have to make. So it's just the same move over and over to go from here to here to here to here. So it just so happens then that when I completed my bottom 2 layers, I ended up with a cross on top. And obviously that's good for me because that is actually what we're going to be heading to. But in order to show you, I need to scramble this up. So I'm going to scramble this up now. Okay, so I've jumbled up my yellow pieces now. I've ended up with one central yellow, and as you can see from the sequence, it's not an arrow, it's not a line, it's not a cross, it is a dot. Even though it has an extra yellow, that doesn't matter. The key thing is you don't have an arrow or a line or a cross. So now we know that by following this set of moves, we're going to go from here and we're going to get an arrow, we're going to get a line, and we're going to get a plus. And that's going to be our end goal. Okay, so again, if you are familiar with my videos, it might be that you've come to this section specifically and you've done the rest yourself or using other videos. Just to let you know then, we have a special set of sequences that this is always the front, and this is the top, and this is the side. And the way that we talk about is opening and closing the jar, turning on and off the tap, and dialing the volume up and down. But no matter what move we make, we always keep an eye on which one we have as the front face. So again, we've got one little dot. It doesn't matter what we have here now in terms of the top layer, we have a central dot. So it means we're going to go through this sequence once and you'll see what happens. So front face, we're going to turn the volume up, turn the tap on, we're going to open the jar, we're going to turn the tap off, we're going to close the jar, and we're going to turn the volume back down. So, as you can see, as promised, we now have an arrow, and it matches the description. So we went from dot to arrow in our first move. Now I'll say again, it might be that when you completed this bottom layer, got all the pieces in the right place, it might be that you're already now at this stage. Well, that's good. That means we only have to do this sequence 2 more times. The important thing now is to make sure that your arrow is facing away from you, which it is now on camera. We'll make sure that we get the arrow pointing this way. Some people call it a boomerang. I'm going to call it an arrow. You call it what you like. But the main thing is that when we start, our front face is here and the arrow is pointing that way. So now we're going to turn the dial. We're going to turn on the tap. We're going to open the jar. We're going to turn off the tap. And we're going to close the jar. And now we're going to turn the volume back down. Hey, look, now we have gone from the arrow to the line. So for the next move, it doesn't really matter which way you do these round in terms of how it aligns with these colors. I'm just going to randomly stop it here. The key thing for doing this sequence one last time to turn it from a line to a plus is that we have this arrow facing this way now. And we do the sequence one last time, and we will then have the plus that we want. So here we go. Turn the dial, turn the tap on, open the jar, turn the tap off, close the jar, and turn the volume back down. And hey presto, this is now step 3A, and we have completed the cross. Let's move on to the next step called 3B. So at this stage we've got 1 that works and 3 that don't. Now it's worth twisting over 1 and just checking that there isn't another combination where more than 1. So here we actually look here, green and orange match, 1 and 2. That doesn't. So we have 2 that match and 2 that don't match. That's good. As you can see on my diagram, you're going to have, once you've got your cross, you're going to have one of 3 situations. Either all of these will match, which obviously you can skip this step, but that's probably going to be highly unlikely. But if it does, then you just move on to the next step. However, in most scenarios, you're either going to have 2 that match and 2 that don't, in this particular way, as in a shared corner, and 2 that don't, or you're going to have 2 that match on opposite ends of the cube. So that would be, for instance, this one matching, and in an imaginary case, this one also matching, but these not. So it's going to be one of these 2 situations. The good news is that whichever one of these 2 situations you're in, it's the same move done once that will fix that problem. So here we are with the scenario, which in fact actually matches my diagram, funnily enough. Green and orange work, red and blue don't work. So the key thing is to turn these 2 that are correct away from you so that they're here and here, and the 2 that are incorrect are here to make this move. Are you ready? Front face is here, correct, correct, incorrect. So we're going to turn the tap on, we're going to open the jar, we're going to open the jar once more, we're going to turn the tap off, we're going to close the jar, we're going to turn the tap on, and we're going to close the jar, and then we're going to turn the tap off once more. So you might go, hang on, that didn't work at all. Well, let's just twist this round. The orange fits, the blue fits, the red fits, the green. We have solved the cross. And the final scenario is that you might have 1 correct on one side and correct on opposite sides, but incorrect opposite this way. So correct, incorrect. So all we need to do then is we need to do this move with the correct piece facing forward. Doesn't matter whether it's this way or this way. Correct piece moving forward, and do this sequence, and I'll show you what happens. Tap on, open the jar, open the jar, tap off, close the jar, tap on, close the jar, and tap off. So now we have gone from here to here, where the two correct ones have moved from being opposite to side by side, which are the orange and the blue. So now we know that all we need to do is just do this one more time and put these two at the back that are correct and these two incorrect, and do the sequence one last time. Tap on, open, open, off, close, on, close, off. And you might go, hang on a minute, that's not right, but let's spin it round. And now we have all four. And as it turns out, we have all of these yellows, but that was not my intention. The key focus here is that these are now correct, and that's what we have. So we have a yellow cross and all the sides matches. The next we would normally do is move the corners, but we'll do that in the third step in this sequence. We're nearly there. So now we have the situation where we've completed our yellow cross and all of the end pieces of the cross match the correct colors. So we have green, red, blue, everything matches. Now the final thing we need to do is we need to switch the corners around, and for that we have a special algorithm where we're moving pieces around in a circular fashion by doing these pieces. So you're either going to have one corner that is correct, or two corners that are correct and two that are not, or you're going to have no corners that are correct. Either way, it's the same set of moves that we're going to do every time until we get it correct. So the first thing we want to do is look through, does this match? Red, green, but it's orange. No. Red, blue, that actually is the correct corner. So we know we have one. That one is incorrect because that should be orange and that should be blue. And this one should be green, not blue, and that's obviously incorrect. And that's also incorrect. So we know that we have one piece correct. This is blue and yellow. It obviously needs to be twisted, but it's the right piece in the right corner, and three of them are incorrect. Now if you have a situation where you have none of them correct, it doesn't really matter, because you just pick any of the corners and do this set of moves, and then you should have at least one correct corner. And if not, then you do it again until you have a correct corner. So the principle is here is that this set of moves will move three of these corners around and one will stay in its place. So only three move around, they circulate, and if you have all four incorrect, then just do this move until you find one that is correct. So now we have one that's correct. So the key to this again is that front face, top, tap. This is, we want to treat this so that the one correct corner is here on the right hand side. So let's do the moves. We're going to open the jar, turn the tap on, we're going to close the jar, and then this move is slightly different. It's the only time that we're going to use this one move, which is why I have a square around it. Instead of doing the tap on this side, it's the negative tap. So it's this tap, the cold tap. And then we're still going to open the jar. We're still going to turn the normal tap off. We're still going to close the jar. And then we're going to turn the cold tap off. So let's have a look. That is correct. That is correct. That is correct. And that is correct. So we have actually achieved our goal of switching corners. Now, I'm just going to pretend, for those of you who obviously didn't get this in the exact first move, I'm going to show you how things cycle around. So I'm going to keep this one, which I know is correct, and I'm going to deliberately mess them up. Okay, so now we have 1 incorrect, 2 incorrect, 3 incorrect, but our 1 correct has been the same. So this is more likely what's going to happen in your scenario. You will have done the sequences, you'll get 1. So let's just do that sequence again. Open, on, close, cold tap, open jar, turn the tap off, close the jar, cold tap, off. Let's have a look. This one's still the correct one. That's still wrong. That's still wrong. And that's still wrong. So what we want to do then is just give it another cycle, basically. Another cycle of this. We'll move these around, keeping that one where it is. So let's just do that one more time. Let's see what happens. Open the jar. Tap on. Close the jar. Cold tap on, open the jar, tap off, close the jar, tap off, and it's looking better. So now we've gone from having 1 correct to incorrect. So now we're back in the scenario where all 4 corners are in the correct place, and that means we are nearly there. There's only one other step that we need to do, and we will have solved the cube. So now we've come to the final part of solving the cube, and that is that we've done our cross, we've matched up all of the end colors, and we've put the right corner into the right corner, so that red and green, red and blue, blue and orange, they're all in the right way. So all we need to do now is what we call twist the corner. That needs to be twisted round so that the yellow goes here. This one needs to be twisted around so the yellow goes here, and the same is here. So we have 3 that we need to fix. Right, get your cube so that I can see here, it might be that I have 2 correct and only 2 that need twisting. I might have 3 that I need twisting. I might only have 1 that needs twisting. If you have 3 that need twisting, start with the first one, so that the one that we twist first will be that, and then we're going to twist that one, and then we're going to twist that one. If you've only got 2, let's say, so that this one's correct, put them this way. So this corner is incorrect, we'll twist that first, and then we'll twist that one. So line them up this way. Okay, so this should be at least 1 correct. Now we're going to do a simple move, and the important thing here is, because you've done all this hard work of getting to cube to this stage, and it's very simple to get this solved, but it's also very simple to get this mixed up. So the steps we're going to do, the move is a sequence of 4 steps, and what I want you to do is count 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, see if you need to do it again, and then repeat the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to keep repeating until we've solved twisting the first corner from here. The yellow is on that side. Okay. If you don't count, it's the easiest way, I guarantee, to mess up your cube, and then you're going to have to go back a whole load of steps to just get back to this situation. Okay, so trust me and count 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll see what I mean when I start. Right, front face. First one to solve is this one, then we're going to solve that, then that. So align it this way. Right, let's do tap off. Now we're going to do the bottom jar. We're going to do tap on. We're going to close the jar. Now you notice I didn't count, but that's just showing you why, as you know, it's the bottom jar in my special way of annotating these moves. So from now on we're going to count. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Have we solved it? No. Let's just do the same move again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I should say, note what color you have as your front face. So I've got orange, so I always know where I am. Did we solve it? No. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And look at that, we solved it. Now this is why, if I didn't count, would I know that I had one more twist to do? And that's the easiest way to mess this up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we've solved that corner. Keep this cube and the front face where it is, and that's these 4 is your front face for the moment, because now look, we're going to twist that round. Remember I said we're going to go in a sequence. We've done this one. Now we're going to load this to the front, and we're going to solve this one, and this is still our front face. Orange in my case, it could be a different color in yours. So now we're going to do the same set of 4 moves. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we solve it? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we solve it? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we solve it? No. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to stop on 3 because this is where someone, if you're not counting, you might get really excited and think, oh, I've made it, and forget to do the final 4th move and start doing the moves again. And I can guarantee you that this is how you're going to mess up your cube, because you're going to look at this and go, hang on, where was I? This doesn't even look right. But because I've got my front face here, I know that I count 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how you're going to save yourself from not messing up at this very, very last stage, because it's just one more 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, solve. 1, 2, 3, 4, solve. So now we've done that last one, and as you can guess, all we have to do now to complete the cube, as random as it might look, there's only one more to solve. And we're going to do this now. Okay, so now we've loaded it into the right place. We've got our front face here, and we're going to quietly go 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we solve it? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we solve it? No. Now again, if you didn't count to 3 and you missed that last 4th step, right now everything would be going haywire. And this is the easiest way for people to mess up, and then you have to go back and do all the steps one more. Okay, and it certainly doesn't look like it's closed, anywhere close to being solved, but trust me, it is. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we solve it? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we solve it? Yes, we did. And look, you have now solved the Rubik's Cube all on your own. Well done, congratulations. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video so that more people can solve the Rubik's Cube for themselves. Thanks for watching.